In the Boys universe, there are a number of terrifying characters. Homelander, the psychotic superpowered monster. Victoria Neumann, the congresswoman who could literally blow people's heads open just by looking at them. Butcher, who killed Victoria Neumann. But there's actually one criminally overlooked character that I really think we all need to be paying way more attention to. And that character is Sister Sage. Sister Sage might actually be the most dangerous person in The Boys. And that's saying a lot. She didn't need to laser anyone's head off or throw a single punch to shake the entire system. In just one season, she managed to destabilize the US government, boost Vought's power beyond anything we've ever seen before, and outsmart literally everyone. The Boys, Victoria Neumann, even Homelander himself. Every move she made looked effortless, but it all built toward one thing: control. And by the end of season 4, Sage was the master orchestrator behind everything happening at Vought. Not to mention all the other things she did at Godokun, where she essentially 10x'd the speed of Marie's power development for whatever she has planned. And we will talk about that in a bit. When you sit down to think about it, it is actually just chilling how dangerous she is. And I don't think Homelander understands this yet, but she will be his downfall. I think Sage's plan is way darker and more dangerous than a lot of people think. There are a lot of speculations of Sage's potential role in The Boys season 5, but none of us really understand her propensity to flip the whole script. She is not afraid to burn the whole thing to the ground as long as she gets what she wants. And we've seen this over and over again with her. She's not afraid to betray her allies, ridicule, or even hurt them as long as it serves her plan. We saw this with Firecracker when she knew Starlight was going to fight her, but she didn't warn Firecracker beforehand. We saw it when she was screwing with the Deep, making him think he was special while simultaneously getting it on with Black Noir. And we also saw this when she intentionally withheld vital information from Homelander because she knew he was an absolute idiot and he couldn't keep his emotions in check. Recently, she ruthlessly betrayed Godokun by freeing Polarity, the only person whom she knew could negate his powers, thus giving room for Marie and the others to defeat him, Victoria Neumann style, all because he couldn't follow her plan. And it's important to note that she liked Godokun, and yet she didn't flinch while betraying him. Now imagine what she'd do to the people she doesn't like. And believe me, she does not like anyone in Vought Tower. She hates all of them, essentially because they're all complete idiots who have the power of gods, but somehow don't even know how to handle a bunch of powerless vigilantes. I mean, she must feel disgusted around them, and that's not an exaggeration. She said so herself.
I find you repulsive in a way that's difficult to quantify, and I'm amazing at quantifying. So
the only reason she initially agreed to help Homelander was because she was bored and she wanted to put her giant brain to work doing something grand, executing the plan of global magnitude. And now that she knows she can, why does she have to keep any of them around? Now, if you haven't watched Gen V Season 2, I highly recommend you do, because it sets up a lot of things that are going to play out in The Boys Season 5, and also because it gives us an insight on, dare I say, Sage's new game plan, which is way worse than whatever you're thinking. So if you haven't watched it, there are going to be a lot of spoilers in this video. You have been warned. Now, in Gen V Season 2, we are introduced to a man named Cypher, who apparently is the new dean, after the last dean was persuaded by a student to slit her own throat. Quite the job you're taking on there, pal. As you can imagine though, this new dean is not just some ordinary dean like the last one. He was handpicked by Vought, specifically Sister Sage, who also happens to be the current CEO of Vought. Now, there's a lot going on with this. Cypher is actually a normal guy being controlled by Thomas Godokun, the man who co-founded Godokun University with Frederick Vought. And this man has been controlled by Godokun for years now, all while Godokun himself is in a really, bad shape is a nice term. He basically looks like the living dead after being burned by a fire in his lab in 1967. Anyway, Godokun teams up with Sage in some weird, romantic, third-party mind control relationship, and their primary goal is simple. They want to push Marie Moreau to unlock her full potential. Apparently, Marie is a special soup called an Odessa baby, one of only 2 soups in the world, the other being Homelander, who were actually born with superpowers. And they are said to be immensely more powerful than the average soup. And I'm talking like they're Superman, and other soups are like Kite Man. It is that much of a power disparity. Now, what on earth does Sage want with Marie? Well, my running theory, which is a common sentiment shared among the fandom, is that she intends to use Marie as a failsafe for Homelander. But not exactly how you think. You see, many people online think Marie is going to be the one to deliver the final blow to Homelander, because Gen V Season 2 really ran on that narrative. In fact, I think that was the whole point of the season, to build Marie up as a potential threat to Homelander, which obviously there are some major problems with that. The most obvious one being that Homelander has been touted as the strongest soup alive. But it's not just because he's practically indestructible, has super speed, and can rip titanium planes clean in half with just a single glance. No, it's also because he's been training since he was literally in diapers. He's been through rigorous training and experiments that have built his capacity over the years. That alone is enough to make any soup incredibly powerful. But now add that on top of the fact that he's an Odessa baby, and I think you begin to see how the whole Marie equation doesn't add up. Marie just recently began her own training just a few years ago, and she never really unlocked her full potential until this season. So it makes no sense for Marie to be the person who goes toe to toe with Homelander in the final season, because frankly, she would get clapped. And apart from all that, it also doesn't make sense narratively. Why on earth should Marie be the person to take on Homelander when the only place we've ever seen her is in a spin-off show? She's not even in The Boys. That's like if Breaking Bad ended with Kim Wexler from Better Call Saul taking down Gus Fring. All that being said, I do think she will play a pivotal role in The Boys Season 5, and she will be instrumental in taking down Homelander, along with Butcher and the others. However, I don't think that's Sage's endgame. Once Homelander and the majority of the boys are out of the picture, Sage can then control the more malleable and stable Marie to meet her end goals. How she's gonna do that is left to be seen, but that's likely her plan. And if you're wondering, okay, how does Sage know the boys and their allies are going to be greatly wrecked after the final showdown with Vought and Homelander? My answer to that is, it's Sage. For some reason, she can just account for these things, and she might very well be making moves to ensure that that happens. Sage is the smartest human on the planet, and she's bored of pandering to the giant man baby Homelander and the current world order. And now that she's had a taste of victory both in The Boys Season 4 and Gen V, she's bored, she's dangerous, and she's definitely thinking on a global scale now. And I'm talking full-on world domination. That's all I'm gonna say on that for now, but that's my running theory. What do you think is Sage's endgame? Let me know down in the comments. Also, if there's another question concerning The Boys you'd like me to talk about, feel free to let me know in the comments as well. If you like this video, do well to give it a thumbs up, it really helps the channel a lot, and of course subscribe for more The Boys content. Thanks for watching, till next time.